Yeah, baby. Yeah. The Mac is back. Back with another video. Hello, the initiated. My name is Marcus Junikala, and today we're doing another demo. I've been away for a bit. I went to Japan to Tokyo Game Show with our video game Breachway. Really happy to be back. Happy to be actually working in the studio. Today on the menu, we've got something called Guitar Odyssey. This is by Naroth Audio. I'll go with something more Tolkienish, I'd imagine, which is Naroth Audio. Don't know the official pronunciation, so maybe somebody can let me know. Also, I don't know what it means, but it's a pretty cool name. So I was contacted by David from Naroth Audio, and he has been a subscriber watcher for a while and seems to dig what we're doing here sufficiently to send over a copy of this. And I was actually happy to check this out because I know a product from their lineup, which is called Bloom, which I actually had a look quite a few months back. Seemed super interesting, but can't buy everything in the world. And I also try not to get stuff that I don't need right now, utilize right now. But Bloom seemed super cool. So I was actually very excited to check this out as well. So yes, I've been sent this copy. So first of all, thank you to Naroth Audio for sending that over. That being said, as always, all opinions are my own, both in good and bad. I haven't been asked to say anything one way or the other, nor would I ever do that. I'm also not being paid to make this video. They simply sent the copy and said it would be cool if I checked it out. And that's exactly what we're gonna do today. So what is it? It's obviously a guitar library, which is doing the cinematic scoring sound. So on their website says that it's a library that redefines the role of guitars in cinematic scoring, immersive soundscapes, introspective pads, aggressive leads, and dramatic textures. So guitar in the cinematic style. Then they have this entire engine that is doing a bunch of things, but yeah, cinematic guitars is really what we're looking at today. As always, I want to do these things as blindly as possible to showcase how these things behave right out of the box. And that's because these kind of things are important to me, and they're the kind of things I want to see as a composer. How does this behave without reading a colossal manual? That's not to say manuals don't have a place and time, because they absolutely do, and you should always read them because you're always missing out on things if you don't. So this is not to shit on manuals or other demos that do a far more comprehensive approach than what I do here, but I try and showcase the stuff that I'm primarily interested in. You'll be hearing Guitar Odyssey in action. Nothing added. I only have a limiter on the master bus to bring the level to a decent level for this video. And other than that, I'm probably going to try and go through as many presets as possible. Again, we're very preset heavy on this channel, and I do that again to showcase what they do out of the box. And I'm looking for great presets as a composer. I want to be inspired fast. I want to be creating fast. So that's again what I try and demonstrate here today. As far as I can tell, we got 200 presets here. So that's not an impossible amount. It's certainly a lot, but We'll be doing things the way that we usually do. So I'll be playing the things that speak to me, and I'll be moving on if I don't feel particularly inspired. Again, that's not to say the sound is necessarily bad, but you know, I want to work with stuff that immediately right now happens to inspire me, because that will showcase this the best. So and again, you're going to be inspired by things that I'm not inspired by, and also these things fluctuate on a daily, momentary basis. So again, something I'm gonna like tomorrow is different than today, which is why you also always need to write music when you're well, I mean, you need to write music continuously, because every given day is going to give you something different. So looking at this interface, interestingly enough, this Guitar Odyssey text is moving around here. I thought I was tripping balls at first, but it is moving around, which is kind of an interesting choice for sure. So main page, then you have an edit page. So they emphasize the modulation aspect of this. You know, the engine is lets you modulate sounds in a number of different ways. Again, we're only going to go into that if I find that I want to tweak a sound, but you know, other demos are going to what's the word? Demonstrate that a lot better. Got a page for effects. So great, we got 8 slots for that. Motion, which looks like, so you got 2 things. You got like a sequence and a circuit, which I'm sure we'll have a look at. Mod page, fair enough, and then a master page. So pretty more or less standard layout. It is quite, there's a lot of stuff here. It's well designed. It's not like cluttered, but you do need to get your bearings, especially with this main bar up here, and then you have these modulation tabs here as well. So yeah, but looking pretty good otherwise. This is the first preset, called a moon-shaped pool. Loading takes a moment, not massively long, but certainly I'd say longer than maybe on average. But a moon-shaped pool. So that's kind of some sort of a sequence going on here. So I'm suspecting in the motion tab, I'll see something. So yeah, turn it off, and you obviously turn off this melodic sequence. You hear a bit of like pitchy stuff there, which depending on what you're going for could be problematic or just awesome. I actually like this if I turn off the sequence there and play with this. There's kind of a slight lo-fi vibe to this. And probably most of the pitchy element is coming from the pad element in there, which is interesting. So right off the bat, controls feel very responsive. The bass sound, not the bass guitar, but the basic sound of it sounds very solidly sampled. Let's go to the next preset. I want to get an idea of what's in here before we start making too many comments about this. Okay, limiter clipping. And as always, I'll be adjusting the limiter as we go along because these presets fluctuate in level. So again, if you hear clipping, it's most likely the limiter. If it's not, I'll let you know. So let's try and find a decent level for this. That's still the limiter. Very cool sound. And again, listening to the mix space here, it is very ambiently focused. It will sit very nicely there, either in the back of a mix or just being a very nice sense of nothing is popping through in a negative way. And oftentimes when you get like a good sense of emotion and being immersed in the sound, but nothing is auditively, piercing at you. It's really well balanced and will be very, very pleasant to mix. So we're getting some kind of a pitch thing here as well, but the circuit thing isn't on here, at least as far as I can tell. So yeah, I'm not sure where that's coming in from. Okay, let me try and get some kind of a bearing here. Okay, so this bottom row stays in place. Right off the bat, I'm finding it difficult to see what is on here and what isn't. Obviously, I can see the level thing here, so I can mute these. Okay, and that one is empty, so yeah, so this is simply a single note with the texture, so the pitch must be coming from one of the other layers. So it's this pad layer. So obviously you can go in there and tune this, but because most of the time I prefer to be in control of my own pitch. Again, it very much, like rarely I'm writing parts that sort of utilize a preset pitch like that. So I would go in there and kind of neutralize everything, put them to the same pitch. But yeah, I really love this picking sound. This is really, really well done. So I'm gonna turn off the pad here. I think there's a pitch difference here as well. Yeah, so that's interesting. Obviously, they've tuned it from here. So I can just bring down the tune here. Okay, so looking at the tuning button here, I don't immediately see a feedback here on what I'm doing. I see it up here on the top row. So that could be closer, just from a practical perspective would be nice too. So I don't have to look up here in the info screen. It is there. Obviously, once you know where it is, not a big issue, but I think it would improve the interface element here. So let's play a bit more. Yeah, super nice. I wonder what the yellow zone even does here. I don't know if it's like a key switch type of thing, but yeah, it's definitely resetting something here on the XY pad. So probably some kind of a mod wheel reset. Yeah, if we press it here, we see that it does. It probably changes something here, but you know, just so you're aware that stuff like that is happening. That's probably the worst, absolutely worst technical explanation ever, since we didn't really do much technical explanation, but key switches exist. That's the lesson for today. All right, this one is called A Welcome Storm. Looking at the presets here, I would appreciate folders. 200 presets without defining them further. I would like some categorization. Although the difficulty with folders and categorization is that we all don't necessarily agree on what belongs where, but still, you know, it has utility. Their solution to this seems to be this tag page. So you can go in here, and this is great. I actually like this a lot, and it's maybe even better than the folder thing. It would depend on, again, I would need to use this for longer, but tags are great. And actually, in many cases, better than folders, depending on how it's structured, if they're accurately, you know, tagged. But this is really cool because you can think about a part you need, go for, you know, organic pad, or let's see what else is here. Eerie and ambient, peaceful. I wonder if you can actually combine these. So let's try that. Eerie. Yes, you can. Okay. That's awesome. I love this. That's well done. But let's do Welcome Storm. Let's bump the limiter up a bit. Very cool. These are very, I mean, we've only done 3 presets, but it becomes pretty evident that these are very mature. The sound design elements are really good. They know they're mixing. It's all very maximally emotional, but nothing is protruding at me. It's all very balanced and even, and this is what I've come to understand about great mixes. You want maximal emotion but minimal space taking. That's how you can make your mixes very, very, very big. Super nice. The noise element is I don't know if that's like probably sampled noise from whatever synth, but very nice, very soothing, pleasant. Yeah, cinematic is definitely the word that that comes to mind here. So very, very cool. Actually, let's go back to the previous one here. I want to see if the mod wheel is mapped to some of these elements. Okay, so that's cool. They don't seem to be mapped onto anything on this preset, but the mod wheel, as you can see from the center, controls this macro page here, which you can, I would assume you can map these into anything you want. So that's super cool. That's super pleasing to look at as well, which is obviously the most important thing in a sample library. Yeah, very, very, very nice. We'll see if they're actually mapped directly into anything on these presets, but that's a cool piece of kit. All right, this one is called Abandoned Toy Shop. Limiter clipping. So, you know, as I've said before, with like pads libraries are the most difficult one to demo from a level point of view, because a lot of pad sounds have a lot of resonance, so they are, you know, very uneven in terms of level. So I will be writing this limiter quite a bit, so bear with me as we experience the world of clipping. Gets very distorted in the style of the distortion that they've gone with, but I actually find it to have a very, very pleasing texture here. I actually wonder where that's coming from, because going to the effects page doesn't show anything, so it's probably on the master page. Yeah, let's see. So we got amp, which is doing jump. Yeah, looks like. So yeah, I would need to jump in there. I would tweak some of these samples and also the effects, but yeah, cool stuff. Abandoning light. Pretty intense level automation on that one. Acid rain. Limiter clipping. Again, a very pad-like sound, so. Pretty heavy compression happening here on the library itself. And what else was I going to say? Effects there get a bit dense. Obviously it's aiming for that kind of a very limited sound, but across the tundra. So it seems like a mono sound. So some of these go into a very, very kind of specific direction, very for a very specific sound. So if you like something you like, you will have to backtrack from these quite a bit, turning elements on and off, and coming back from some of the effects, which is perfectly fine. They are a bit intensive on some of these, so you will have to kind of pull back quite a bit. Okay, so here the macros are mapped to something. That's actually a really cool sound with everything wide open. Very cool. We had a tiny bit of limiter clipping there in between, but yeah, very nice. Again, dancing on the boundary of dissonance and tonality, which I love. Limiter is clipping. Okay, so super nice sound here. It does the whatever the filter, whatever is going on here. Let's try and have a look. Okay, so yeah, we do have a couple of filters going on here. The motion here doesn't seem like this is on. I would prefer for it to reset between things. So like here, it doesn't. I wonder what it's actually based on. If I do a bit of a break in between, it does reset. So, yeah, I can't figure out where it's pulling that from, because it could come from a couple of different things. I'm guessing here, but strength. Yeah. I don't know where it's doing that filter reset from. I'm sure, I mean, this is for sure my lack of familiarization. I'm sure there's a easy way for that. Because that could also be like a ADSR kind of a thing. Anyway, let's not spend time on that. The sound is brilliant. Yeah, but it's not really playable the way I want with these preset settings. Fantastic sound. Sorry for my ignorance and not being familiar with this, but yeah. Okay, we had a bit of a limiter clipping there as well, but very moody, very ambient. That's a lot of these do play a lot with pitch. Again, here I think we can see some automation on the Gisborne harms for the pitch, which makes it even more complex. But yeah, I usually tend to go into these kind of presets, undo the pitchy stuff, and then just control it myself based on the playing, and then maybe from within the engine as well, if once I know what I want to go for. But amp ignition. It seems kind of like a very default kind of a sound, like a building block for a bigger, kind of more ready sound. Okay, so going too dense, in my, according to my taste, makes it a bit too kind of thick and paddish. If you keep it sparse enough, that will be fantastic for that sound. I really like these kind of sparse and fluctuating plucking sample things. I mean, I tend to like that sound overall, so it's, you know, very biased from that perspective, but they're really well sampled. And also what I oftentimes with guitar sample libraries, for some reason you tend to hear the synthetic quality in the sound once you have, even if it's well sampled, if it's not put together well enough in Kontakt in the engine, it will end up sound very synthetic. Here, none of that. Like I'm hearing this as if it's really being played. This really pulls off this very natural playability in this way, and it's not attempting to be like a hyper realistic, organic, natural guitar sample library. It's intending to take the guitar, do the effects treatment to it, and give this cinematic sound. So it's doing that really, really well. And a lot of that comes down to the developer's ability to, produce the sound well enough, have actual productional skills and mixing abilities, but this is really capturing this sound really, really nicely. Yeah, everything is sitting beautifully in the back. This one is called Anthem of Morning. Beefy, cinematic, raspy low end. I would probably do this in two different parts. Like the low end is very nice, behaving the way I would want to write with it. I'd probably take another instance of this and then tweak the how this is coming in, the higher melody part. I would make it less abrupt, but that's it's just how I would want to be writing with it. Yeah, that's super nice. Very cool. Apocalyptic Meteor. I also want to say regarding that previous preset, there was also very clear, again, pitchy stuff happening, and there it worked really, really nice. Very subtle. Creates this uneasiness and fluctuation motion, which I really like. Okay, so beautiful sound. Not quite sure how this is behaving. This top end sound. Beautiful slides, beautiful sound. Obviously, I would want to control when it's sliding and when it's not doing that. I'm not sure how much of that is coming from the sample here and how much is from the engine. I'm guessing it's more engine based, which would be cool because then I could control that. But that's just nails that sound. You know, that's yeah, really well done. Let's move on. Otherwise, I'm just going to play that for too long. So, apparition acceleration. Okay, definitely limiter clipping here. So very cool ambient stuff. That kind of cyclical pitch rising thing going on could be a great starting point for something. Let's bump the level back up here. Yeah, many of these tend to be very much based on the kind of sequence that they've designed, which, you know, can be very cool or not, depending on, you know, what you prefer. So what I'm trying to figure out here is the difference between loading the preset from this contact menu here and the preset inside the engine. Very, very happy to let you know that still after years of doing this, I don't know the difference, because some libraries do it and some don't. Maybe somebody more educated can let me know. I hope that doesn't have an effect here on the sound too much. As far as I can tell, it's not keeping certain things going and you know, altering the sound that way. But yeah, just a side note here. Let's try and find where we were actually going. I think somewhere here. Let's try and figure it out. Yeah, a lot of these are very based on the sequence they've designed, which for me personally, not a huge user of them. But you can find something that's interesting, then undo the pitchy sequence elements and then write specifically what you want to write. Again, this is not like a, whether it's a positive or I can't even say negative, but like whether it's preferred or not depends on you as a composer, but that's how I tend to use these. Again, very, very cool sound. That kind of plucky thing. Yeah, you can do cool stuff with that. Big level differences here. cool sequence. Beautifully done, the distortion on the top end. Kind of brings it out, but it doesn't saturate, doesn't overwhelm the mids and the lows. That's very nicely done. Dare push the limiter a bit more. Okay, so I definitely need to be playing with the mod wheel a lot more. I do apologize for the lack of that. But I think with the sounds where I think there could be something more happening, I'll probably be tweaking that a bit. But yeah, this is really, really super awesome. Yeah, super cool. I could play that all day, in case you didn't notice, but super nice. Perfectly mixed, very immersive, very driving. And that's just, yeah, that's perfect. Next up, Astral Fretwork. Okay, this is cool. Definitely more playable centric in terms of the openness of what you can do. Interesting to hear how this is going to work, because this is, I'd say, the first one that goes for a more organic, realistic sound. Okay, so nice touch on the pad pulse thing here, but I would turn it off for what I feel inspired by. This is a very nice tone. Obviously, you can hear that it's not super like detailed in terms of the dynamic levels here, but it's very well programmed. Yeah, and a lot of these, like this kind of approach, making that cinematic guitar library, much of it comes down to how the samples play with the engine and the effects you're using and how you've designed it. So this is this is playing with the big picture so well and making this very, very nice sounding. Dare I push the limiter a bit more. I love the sound. Okay, so the sounds to me like the velocity dynamics are really well sampled. So when I said there's not a ton of like dynamics, probably not the best way to describe that. Sounds like there is actually very nice dynamics in here, but you can tell that it's, I don't even know how to word that. Let me play a bit more and maybe do another attempt on trying to communicate what I'm thinking. Okay, that's beautiful. I could play that all day, which I guess is evident enough, but yeah, that plays beautifully. Every time, like with the guitars, it's super important that when I want to go a bit harder on a note, that the sample library delivers. It kind of makes the expression perfect. And this is, to me, like, to my taste, and the style is perfect. It's perfectly mapped. And when I want to push, get a bit more transient, bit harder of a note in there, it does that. This maps to me perfectly. Out of curiosity, I'm going to turn off the reverb and okay, both reverbs. So again, this is just to showcase how these libraries are kind of structured, and also to show how well they understand their productional elements and the mixing elements, how well they understand the reverb, that they're building a library for a specific sound and style. It's not about doing everything super realistically at every single step, or programming things in the most realistic way, but it's how it comes together to fulfill a goal, a mission. So again, let's, without reverb, this is what it sounds like. So something interesting when I hold the sustain, it's kind of, I don't know what it's kind of sustaining there underneath. Maybe just the sustain element of the string that they've sampled sounds like that. Again, I surprisingly also like this sound. It is more realistic than I expected. You can hear a bit of that synthetic quality. And much of this, again, in the defense of this, comes down to how you would actually be playing. With a guitar sample library, you want to be playing the way a good guitarist would actually be playing. So a lot of the time when things sound like shit, it's your fault as a composer. So you have to know what you're doing. If you don't play guitar yourself, spend time around guitarists and break down what they're doing, so you can actually arrange your parts to sound realistic. But yeah, I surprisingly like this. Okay, so here you can, if I play a single note, you can hear the pluck and then kind of this sustain or the tail of the sound. So it means, yeah, so they've sampled this as a single sustained note. So if I play a short note, it's not trying to sound like a short note. It kind of has this the engine, this kind of ADSR sense has this kind of tail to it. So that explains the synthetic quality. If we go for something like a more short note thing in here, that will certainly sound more appropriate. So this is not like, you should not take this as a representation of how realistic this sounds. This is just one preset that we've that has been custom built to sound great with the sound design elements, the reverbs that are in here. And it's not attempting to sound realistic in all ways. It's attempting to sound great for this preset, which it absolutely does. I'm just simply out of curiosity jumping in here to hear what it sounds like. So this should not be taken as a sign of how realistic it sounds overall. I'm sure there are many samples and samples in here and presets that do a more realistic job. And you should also choose your samples to serve the part that you're writing. There's not going to be one single preset or setting that is going to serve you in all ways when it comes to most sample libraries, period, but certainly guitars as well. So yeah, I mean, this is sorry for the detour, but I just had to dig in there to see how it's kind of put together. Atom Smasher. Did we break something? Yeah, I think something, okay, yeah. I think something, this sometimes happens when you're working with Kontakt. So, okay, let's try and close this. Let's reload this again. There we go. Yeah, sometimes things just jam up with Kontakt. By the way, I'm using Kontakt 6 with this because 7 causes the issue we had with the Hemisphere demo where the interface doesn't update. So when I'm working with Streamlabs, it just doesn't show anything that's actually happening on the Kontakt page. So I'm using 6 to actually let you see what's happening in Kontakt. Okay, yeah, there we go. Atom Smasher. Okay, this is super loud. I'm not even using the limiter, and it's clipping balls. Yeah, I think that could maybe use some level adjustment. That is insanely loud. Unless I ballsed up something here. I don't think so. Everything looks all right as far as I can tell. This one is called Big Definer. Something cool you could use as a more of a synthetic element go into the sequencer, make a cool sequence for that. Sounds like a very kind of a, 8-bit-ish sound, which you could do some synthetic things with. Again, pitchy, pre-pitched stuff. And that was a bit more sort of aggressive in its approach. Okay, again, I'm doing nothing on the limiter. Contact volume is set to 0. That's very, very loud. So I think those could use some level control in an update. Beautiful atmosphere. I would do more with how the level moves. It kind of stays too uniform there. But again, that's just the music I would want to write with that. But beautiful idea. Limiter clipping. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's top tier stuff. And again, the beauty is I'm not thinking about the fact that I'm using something that's based on the guitar, because it just sounds very, synthetic and cinematic. Beautiful. So if we look at the circuit here, I'm guessing that's, no, the sequence. I don't know where the rhythm element is coming from. The kind of, I don't even know what it's called in English, but the kind of the triad thing there. Maybe that's the right term. I don't know. Beautiful rhythm sequence. It's just everything about that is just spot on. Yeah. Yeah, you can see the rhythm element coming in here in the circuit element. It'd actually be interesting to, I guess circuit compared to the sequencer here is more like a, I guess more refined version, because you can do tuning here. You got a gate, you got repeats, you got the rate, velocity. So That's very cool. Yeah, just spot on stuff right there. There's a wide scope of things in here. Okay, next preset, Bluegrass Night Light. Limiter clipping. And again here, the level, the limiter is not even adding any gain, so some of those get super loud. So I think those need revisiting and bring the level to something more decent right out of the box. Obviously I can adjust that in Kontakt, but just having that extra level of utility would be fantastic. Stunning, beautiful ambience. I love this volume sequencing, I guess, what's happening here. It doesn't seem like either one of these is on, so it must be coming from the mod page, the fluctuations in level. Yeah, seems like it's this. Nope, still don't know where it's coming from. Beautiful waves of that, and I love how quiet and sparse the top end is on this one. At times I would bring it up a bit more to make it more apparent, but in certain parts it's very nice how it's just about audible, gives you that sense of something happening there, but it's not too apparent. So very beautiful, stunning ambience there. Beautiful dark droney low end. Not really digging the kind of sharpness of the top end, but that kind of comes with the territory. Then I would only use the low end for that, but that's very nice. Kind of a cool sound. We need to jump in there to see what's doing what. That's kind of the challenge with some of these libraries, is that if a sound is very sample based, obviously it can be difficult to, or impossible to tweak that if, let's say, that slide came from the sample itself. That's why it's nice to have them come from the engine, if at all possible, depending on what we're looking at. But yeah, sometimes you hear a piece of inspiration and then okay, this is what I want to do, and then you go in and realize it can't be done. Not saying it can't be done here, but again, you kind of have to on a individual basis go and find that out. and potentially do quite a bit of tweaking. Okay, so bit of limiter clipping there. Very cool stuff happening here. I'm guessing, again, it doesn't look like either one of these is on, so it must be coming from the mod page. So I don't know. Again, this is beyond my pay grade, but very cool. This engine can do a lot of really cool stuff. Just worth being aware of. Nails that sound. Beautiful ambience, distortion, very tasteful, enriches that emotionality. That's just spot on. Sorry, another very loud sound here. Pretty crazy, but a very, very cool elements there. The level, some of these are just too loud out of the box, even with nothing added. Okay, that is super awesome. That is very, 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 very nice. Just the whole, I mean, everything from the sound to the effects to the programming of this. I wish I understood this structure a bit better. It must be coming from the mod elements here, because it doesn't look like the motion page is doing anything here, but yeah, that's stunning. Just the way it's moving about, and just the shiftiness, all the textures, everything spot on. Again, not even thinking about a guitar library at all here. Just stunning sound design, stunning programming here. This is just beautiful. brilliant stuff. This one is called Center Agent. It's a bit difficult with the distortion and the pitch to do harmony on that one, but I really like this more subtle end of it. Very nice, very cool. Okay, seems like we have the contact issue going on here again. Or maybe not. Okay, we had a bit of limiter clipping there because some of the resonance is built up there, but absolutely fantastic. This is S tier stuff. Beautiful soundscape, beautiful sense of reverb in space, and just like this puffy, shiny sound. It's just beautiful. Okay, I have to move on because otherwise I'm going to play that for the rest of the day, but just brilliant stuff. Again, we have a sequence pitch thing going here. This circuit page is actually really cool. I can't immediately think of... I wonder if the sequence is more attached to effects. I guess the sequence doesn't... I don't know what the difference is. You can tell me. Really cool sound. But yeah, I mean, from here you can tune things as you wish, but very, very, very cool sound. Yeah, super nice motion, very well programmed. Again, very loud, but limiter clipping. Again, this is super loud, some of these presets. Super nice sound. I love the space and the distortion. Bit of work to make it work with your part, but beautiful imaging, sense of space. A bit too intense on the distortion and movement to my taste, but it's tweakable. Limiter. Well, it would be clipping anyway without the limiter, so we're gonna pull back the contact volume. Again, S-tier sound design. Some of these are just like spot on perfect. So meaty, spacious, ambient, beautiful sense of space. Beautifully mixed. One of the things I wish I saw from here is in what category each of these are in as I load them. Because we have this great tagging system, but I would love to see the tags for each, so I could actually, you know, follow where they're coming from easier. So maybe something that could be included, unless I'm sure I'm missing something here. Maybe the info, I don't know. But if it's not there, that would be very nice to have. Very nice, beautiful pad. Beautiful low end in that kind of low mids. Very nice. Super immersive cinematic. Very nice, plucky. I love how, like, a lot of these just don't resemble a guitar at all anymore, and I think that's a fantastic thing. It's just like you lose yourself in just like a treasure trove of you know, beautiful sounds, cinematic sounds. Another great example of all the crazy stuff you can sequence and do with this. And it's super, super nice. It hits really hard, plays really nicely. Beautiful, a bit heavy-handed on the distortion, but depends on the part you're writing. That's super cool. I love that sound. Reminds me of the Limbo soundtrack for the video game Limbo. It's actually pretty much the same style. Very nice. Yeah, beautiful sound. Again, here we got a sequence of the pitch stuff going on. Again, you can turn that off if you just want to play it yourself. But I mean, again, like listening to this, I'm kind of wishing we're getting more of those playable guitar presets. I'm sure there are more in here, but we've just bumped into like maybe 1 or 2 so far. So I don't know, but those, they sound really good. Very, very, very playable. But yeah, very nice sequence. If you want to use it, go ahead. Again, on these rougher sounds, I'm sure they cater to a genre, and they have been done with that in mind. A bit too harsh, edged, sharp edged to my taste, but again, super loud. I have to pull back on contact to make it reasonable. Super nice. I mean, you know that I love making dark ambient music. That would be just a perfect one for that. So absolutely fantastic. They're really showing like their productional mixing capabilities and sound design capabilities here. Again, same thing here. Beautiful dark ambient soundscapes. A bit rough to my taste. Okay, that is even louder. We pulled back contact 15 decibels and it's still clipping. I got nothing on my limiter. So some of those things to tweak. Again, stellar dark ambient sounds. I love how the pushing the mod wheel makes it more reverberant, and this pulls it kind of to the front. Just absolutely stellar sound design on that one. Again, a bit harsh. I'm really impressed by the all the things that this engine can create in terms of movement and pitch and the gating. All of it is super sharp, super, you know, spot on, very dynamic, very immersive. So very, very impressed by that. Okay, some kind of a super quiet, slow-moving drone. Very cool. Beautiful. Captivating. Great distortion. Oh, crap. Sometimes when you change the preset, it takes a bit of the note trigger from the previous one. Takes it into the next sound. Limiter clipping. Beautiful. They nailed those kind of like glassy, I don't know what to call them. Those types of pads. Clipping. Again, all the movement, all the rhythm, all how it hits. That's so well done. Beautiful textures. Obviously, you need to jump into the mod area to control when you want that change or movement to actually happen. But beautiful, beautiful elements. That is the limiter. fantastic low-end distortion drone thing. Oh crap. Clipping there. Yeah, some of these are super loud, so you gotta pull them back in contact. Not to clip these things. Really like that more reverberant wall of sound. Very nice ambience on that one. Yeah, it's one of those just S tier, top tier stuff. A lot of this reminds me of a lot of the things that Luftrum does with Sonic Underworld, and that's high praise as far as I'm concerned. Very, just so tasteful, these ambient sounds, just very, very captivating. Beautiful sound. I wish some of the low-end dynamic there had more of a quiet sample range. Yeah, it does that sometimes when you change the preset. Kind of throws in something from the previous preset, kind of spikes it out. Yeah, I wish it did have a tiny bit of like a quieter velocity range there. Sorry, I had some weird, strange pain in my arm. But yeah, and you know, one of the other sounds we used previously did have that. So I wonder if it's simply a matter of going in here and, you know, oh crap, I don't know what I did. What did I do? Oh shit, I fucked up, guys. Let's go in here and let's select the preset again. Yeah, I was wondering if I jumped in here and changed the sample source, but I think this is more like kind of not like a preset, but like a type of sound that's now plugged into the section engine. And actually here, yes, in the sample zone, I would actually have the sample. But yeah, I wish the previous sound had a bit more sensitivity, more velocity, more dynamic range in the low end. But yeah, overall that was a stunning, beautiful sound. Okay, so we already had one of the presets had like a fjord name, so I was getting some of those Scandinavian or Nordic influences there. But this one is downright called Frontier Wardens. Okay, so this whole thing I was saying makes no longer any sense, because I thought this said Vardruna, which is a band or a group, which is fantastic. So I'm just misreading, and my speech actually makes no sense at this point. So let's play this one. So I think the sustain is doing something different now, because when I hold it, it kind of blooms out all the sustain samples. I don't think it did that earlier. So it must depend on the preset that we're playing, but it makes holding some of these kind of difficult. So I would have to change the mapping on that one. That is stellar. Just a beautiful. Sounds good. Some of these are just downright. They have no business. I mean, being this good. They are just S tier. Yeah, another dark ambient greatness. Yes, again, the sequencing stuff, so snappy. Again, beautiful. We're closing in on the 100 preset mark. I think we're gonna have to call it at that, because I can't do this all day. I still got other stuff to do, but let's go to 100 and call it there. Again, it's clipping a bit. Let's pull that back. Still clipping, even though we're not actually using the limiter. Super nice. Very nice. These sequences, they really bite very nicely. Just perfect. I mean, they do these kind of darker ambient cinematic things, pad droney things perfectly. Super nice. Very driving. Again, super snappy. Yeah, that was clipping. Okay, we got to do 101 because it's called limit break. Yeah, super cool. Doing really weird, strange things also with the pitch, but they're so snappy, they're so driving, perfectly balanced. Yeah. I gotta do lo-fi Missing You because, hey, I mean, lo-fi, I'm in. Again, super nice, very weird, very different from a lot of the stuff that we've heard here. Obviously, we did get similar ones there before, but I mean, that's super nice. Man, I wish I could do all of these because there's so much like stellar stuff in here. Then you get like a curveball of something very different. Okay, I guess I'll just do a few based on name alone. So they are very well named as well, so that's not great for me. Again, super weird, super strange. I love it. It's just crazy, unique stuff. This engine is so it sounds like it's alive. It is really has a very unique way that it's working and that it's put together. You can really hear the richness of the modulation because it's so complex. Okay, so Studio One did a crash here. So let us try and fix this. Start normally. Yeah, I guess we've been running this for quite a long time. The software has been recording for 2.5 hours, so see if we can get this rolling in a decent way once again. I gotta see if I can update this contact view in Streamlabs probably could be that the answer is no. Also, a few strange things happening because I can't see all the windows that are in there. Okay, I think we're going to take this as a sign from the world to call it a day here. It's been a long one, kind of a strange one. I hope I did this some justice, but in fairness, I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything that this thing is and can be, because we heard such a broad scope of things in the library. First of all, absolutely top tier, S tier, ambient cinematic soundscape preset sounds here. Just stunning. No questions about that. So for those alone, I think this is easily worth getting. I think it's now under the intro price. Let me go on the website just to make sure we get this right. So in euros right now, I'm seeing 144 euros and 95 cents. So that's probably different. And it looks like dollars is 149. It's been a long day. $149 and euros is 144.95, at least for me now. Intro offer ends October 15th, at least based on today's information. So that's really the basics, and I'm mentioning that obviously to hopefully help out the creators of this, but just to contextualize the value you're getting here. I find that price to be extremely reasonable. I don't know what it's going to bump up to. I would be guessing maybe let's see, does it say here? It does not. I'm sure in some kind of an email you'll probably find that. Maybe 200, maybe even more, 250, who knows? Maybe you know, because I don't, but 149 for this seems like a really darn good deal. And again, I'm not being paid to say that, and haven't been asked to say that, but simply based on what I'm seeing here so far, you get so much bang for your buck here. And I'm also looking at the folder structure. It doesn't update on the video anymore, unfortunately, because we crashed. But yeah, this tagging system is actually really good, because it simplifies this a lot. What I should have done now in hindsight, and this often happens when I'm making demos, because I realize at the end of it, what would have been the best way or better way of structuring a demo would be to go based on these tags and explore them in a bit more of a faster way. But what is absolutely clear to me is that the scope of this is extremely vast, very diverse, and again, you're getting those absolutely stunning big cinematic soundscapes. I'm a huge fan of the dark ones, obviously, and they do those in as best of a fashion that I've ever heard. They're right there at the top with the best that I've heard. A lot of those driving sequences, gated sequences, distortion very tastefully done. You know, some of the sounds were sort of clearly harsher and sort of more brittle. And again, that's not necessarily a good or a bad. It depends on what style of music you're making. It's very clear to me that it's very intentional, and they've probably done those sounds with something specific in mind. It just doesn't cater to my needs or style or taste. But yeah, the driving sequences, we didn't get a whole lot of those presets with the very like apparent guitar sound in the sort of forefront with the ambience is kind of very similar to what Hemisphere by Fracture Sounds is doing. But all of the ones we did play here were fantastic, very tastefully done. Guitars sound perfectly realistic and real in that sort of a cinematic ambient context. They were stellar. Is there anything else that we bumped into? Also, a lot of these kind of weirder presets, weirder sounds, which I love because they can really, spark your inspiration tremendously. And you dig in there, go in there and tweak it to make it work for your taste. But I'm really happy to hear the weirdness in there as well. Very inspiring. And they were also very tastefully done. I'm sorry my pronunciation is failing me at this point, but I'm just, it's been a long, long day. The lo-fi sounds, very great. We did hear some of the presets where they seemed like very kind of building block-ish to me, like very simple, almost sounding to me like maybe half done or kind of starting points to something. Again, this is dependent on the kind of music that you want to make, and maybe they have like they cater to a very specific function and taste. I don't know. But I mean, based on the intentionality that you hear in all of these other categories that I mentioned, very hard to think that they didn't do it intentionally, because these are so well refined. So yeah, strongly recommended. It does run a bit slow when it's loading up things. I'm not running anything. I mean, I'm running Studio One, then Contact in here. We have a limiter on the master bus. We're running Streamlabs as we're recording this, but nothing more. It does load up a tad slow, not the slowest that I've seen. If you think about something like Slade and Ash is probably at the slowest end, maybe, and then with some of the there are a bunch of libraries that are clearly heavy. This is definitely in the same way, kind of loading slowly, which tells me that there's a lot of stuff happening under the hood. It's probably using a lot of effects quite intensively. We have a ton of modulation going on here, so that slows it up, sample loading, etc. But maybe it's something they could improve. I have no idea. I'm not, this is not my expertise, but just to know that it's not super fast and snappy. It does take a moment, and you do get a sense that it's a bit. It's not the lightest thing out there in the world, so just something worth mentioning. One of the things that this is perhaps beyond the interest of a lot of people out there, but the branding on this is very strange to me. And I'm bringing this up because I'm hoping that this does well, because it is absolutely brilliant. But looking at this, I mean, if you read just Guitar Odyssey, it doesn't really tell you a lot of what this actually sounds like. Now, if I look at their library, Bloom, with that far faster, I get an idea of what it is and what it sounds like and what it does. Obviously, the name evokes something, and you have a look at it, and you have a listen at it or to it, and you get an idea. That's really well done in my estimation. This one, because it says guitar and it has this very guitar focused, the cover art and everything, it does make you think, okay, it's like super guitar focused, but it is, it's sourcing the sounds from this instrument, but in terms of what it ends up sounding like and doing, it does just so much more. So I'm afraid that a lot of people will miss out on this and not find this as a tool that they want to or could be using because of the name, because of the branding. So maybe that's something, you know, I'm hoping I'm wrong. This, again, the attempt is not to shit on anybody. Quite the opposite. I want to see this do well, because it is really, really, really good. So I would maybe reassess kind of what the soul and the essence of this is in terms of the emotion and the picture that it generates as you play it. Like, I love the way they've named Bloom, and it seems to be very coherent and work really well for that. Maybe they learned something about that and it didn't work, you know, the way they wanted to. I don't know why they changed the naming style for this, but yeah, I'm just worried that the look of this, the branding, the picture, etc., is misleading in terms of what this can do, because it can do so much more. This, like, it says Odyssey, and that it certainly is, because this does provide you with so much scope, so many different sounds, so many different things. It is absolutely like a treasure trove of things. But what to call it, I would probably call it something else, and maybe find the soul and the essence of it and boil it down to a word and go with that. I know nobody asked for this this part of this demo, but you know, worth it's something that was on my mind, so I thought it would be worth mentioning. But all in all, strongly recommended. Just S tier sound design, and yeah, if you're looking for cinematic, a tool that creates cinematic sounds, and not just ambiences, but those driving, pulsating things. Like I said many times, this you only think about this as a guitar sample library when you're using the sounds that clearly have a guitar. And most of these don't. At least we went through half of these presets. Most of them don't have like a super apparent guitar element. So it's really appears to me to be more or of something else. Like, it's not just a guitar library. It's like a cinematic, I don't know, treasure trove thing. But I think I've been going on for long enough. Yeah, go check it out. Yeah, and again, I want to thank Naroth Audio for sending this over. It's super impressive. Super impressive. I want to see it do well. And we didn't even do half of these presets. So I do apologize that this isn't the most coherent representation of this, but we did half of the presets, at least showcasing what I'm thinking about this right out of the box. So hopefully that has utility for both the devs as well as you watching this as a potential buyer of this. But yeah, I mean, strongly recommended. This makes me very interested in checking out Bloom from Naroth Audio. So hopefully they're interested in doing that, and being a bit wiser this time, maybe structure this demo a bit differently. If it uses the same tag system, then I'll probably go do a demo on that based on the tags. But that's it for this this demo review. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm a bit rusty after my long trip away from home and the studio, but hopefully this has been sufficiently entertaining and informative to you. Again, let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Finished.